Hello everyone, and welcome back to another installment of Five Nights at Freddy's. This is going to be another theory of mine that I actually looked up some information on, and I found some very useful things that I thought I would share with you guys. Now, there's a lot of people who have done their own theories about the Bite of 87, but I actually found out some really interesting things about this, and it might blow you away, guys. So I'm going to go ahead with this theory, and I'm going to try to be as short as possible because my theory videos tend to be pretty long. So yeah, just bear with me, guys. I will try to make this as short as possible and give you as much information as I can. So here we go, guys. Alright everybody, now before we get to the subject of the whole Bite of 87 deal, let me actually tell you guys where the Bite of 87 came from and where we first heard it from. Now, in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, on the very first night, the phone guy does call you and he does mention the animatronics' behavior, how they think you're just a skeleton and they're trying to put you in a suit, so you gotta try to protect yourself. And he also mentions about the Bite of 87 that took place in 1987. Now, the Bite of 87 took place in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but Five Nights at Freddy's 2 came place after Five Nights at Freddy's 1. So Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is not the very first game. It actually takes place after Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So when he brings up the Bite of 87, he mentions that someone got bit in the frontal lobe area, which is the front part of your brain. And that brain functions things like your memory, your behavior, your movement, your thinking initiation, and your speaking. The phone guy also mentions that whoever got bit in 1987 actually lived. In the phone call in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, he does state that it's amazing how a human body can live without the frontal lobe. And as I mentioned, it does control your reasoning, your memories, the way you speak, your movement, all that other stuff. And everything that I just mentioned about the frontal lobe actually has to do with the hallucinations that you see in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. But I'm going to go over that in a different video just to avoid confusion in this video, because right now we're talking about the Bite of 87 here. Now, the big question that we need to answer is, what animatronic caused the Bite of 87? How did it happen? Why did it happen? And can we do anything to solve this mystery? Now, there are three culprits as to which of the animatronics that caused the Bite of 87. There's Foxy, the Mangle, and you might think this is weird, but SpringTrap from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And another culprit of this could possibly be Golden Freddy. It actually has something to do to tie in with the SpringTrap animatronic, but I'm going to leave Golden Freddy out of this one because it might just confuse people. Let's start off by looking at Foxy. Now, most people would assume that Foxy was the one that started the Bite of 87, mainly because the first game was out and the second game was never even thought of, and most people would just think about it because Foxy was kept in the back, never really considered an actual main animatronic like Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. He would stay in the back as a malfunction animatronic considering to bring him back. Maybe they gave him a chance, and in 1987, they decided to bring him back out to the audience, and then maybe he bit a student or a child or maybe a security officer working there. Who really knows, but that's what people probably assumed, that Foxy was the one to cause the Bite of 87. Now, the next animatronic that we're going to look at is the SpringTrap animatronic that you see in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Now, why are you asking why I think the SpringTrap animatronic actually caused the Bite of 87? Now, this can go into great detail, but I'm going to try to keep this as simple and concise as possible. But in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, on the second night, the phone guy does say something about how there are two suits that are in the back that can be manually operated and can be controlled by a human person. They can pretty much be worn by an actual person, and they can actually walk around as a cosplay costume of some sort. Now, you're probably thinking that someone probably controlled SpringTrap during Five Nights at Freddy's 2 in 1987 and actually bit someone. Now, I don't think a physical person would actually get inside of an animatronic suit and bite someone. Another thing that I should actually mention about the SpringTrap animatronic is that if you look at this teaser image right here that Scott Games posted, I think a couple days before the game came out, I'm not sure, but if you look at this and you brighten it, you can see an animatronic on the right. Now, we're all assuming that this is SpringTrap, but it could be a whole new animatronic that just was never revealed. But if you look down at his mouth area underneath his nose, you can see a tooth, and it looks like a triangle-shaped tooth with some blood on it. Now, it is a possibility that this SpringTrap animatronic at the time during 1987 had sharp teeth and caused the bite of 87. Maybe he had a mind of his own, escaped from the secret back room that was in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, came out and bit someone. Now, this whole SpringTrap deal with him causing the bite of 1987 actually could be caused by Golden Freddy. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to include Golden Freddy, but I just couldn't help it. Now, Golden Freddy could be a culprit of the bite of 87 because on night 6 in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the phone guy does say that someone used a spare yellow suit in the back, and that the Freddy Fazbear's establishment was actually going to be closed off. People are probably going to be wondering, wait, how does an animatronic just come to life and just run out there and bite someone? Well, here's something else that you probably did not know. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, there's an animatronic called Balloon Boy. And get this, Balloon Boy does not have an endoskeleton. So how is it able to move through the vents? Maybe it comes to life and has a spirit inside of it. Who really knows? There's this other image of Balloon Boy, and that if you look inside of his mouth, you can kind of see 2 eyes in there. So maybe there's some type of spirit in there, or maybe there's an actual child inside the suit. I really don't know. That's just speaking crazy right there. But what if the same thing happened to SpringTrap? Maybe like his soul came back to life inside the suit, came out of the secret room and just ran out there and bit someone. It's kind of a theory thing of mine, and maybe they just changed out his teeth, because in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, his teeth are very blocky, and animatronics actually have interchangeable parts. Maybe that's why Bonnie in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 doesn't have a face. They probably used it for spare parts for the SpringTrap animatronic. Now, the next animatronic we're going to look over is the Mangle animatronic from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, at the very beginning of the game of its release, many people still thought that Foxy was the one to cause the bite of 87. As to his jump scare animation, he just jumps in front of your face, and people thought, oh, he bites off your face where your frontal lobe is at. Oh, it was Foxy. But if you actually think about it, if you look at the Mangle's jump scare animation, he actually swoops down from the ceiling and bites you where your frontal lobe is at, or your forehead, where that memory or the reasoning or the thinking of your part of your brain happens. And if you think about it, the Mangle could be the culprit of causing the bite of 87. Now, in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, during 1987, the phone guy does address that the old Foxy from the previous Freddy Fazbear's location was too scary for kids, so they decided to make a more kid-friendly version of Foxy. And they decided to make it, for kids and, so that the old Foxy wouldn't be so hostile. But for some strange reason, the children at Freddy Fazbear's and Five Nights at Freddy's 2 started to take apart the Mangle animatronic for some odd reason. The staff of the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza kept trying to put it together, but the kids kept taking it apart. So they decided to put the Mangle in Kids Cove and turn it into a take apart and build animatronic attraction sort of a thing. And since the Mangle has gone through years and years of that torture of getting taken apart and stuff like that, maybe during 1987, the Mangle animatronic probably got angry and bit a child in the frontal lobe. Now, the Mangle could have bitten anybody. He could have bitten a child, could have bitten a normal customer, probably could have bitten an actual security guard. Alright everybody, now to conclude everything I just said, who do you think caused the bite of 1987? Now, I'm pretty sure there is a logical answer to exactly what happened to the 1987 incident, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm pretty sure someone else made a video about the bite of 1987 and gave their theories, and these are my theories, so please respect it. And if you have anything that you want to share, go ahead in comments down below and just let me know in general. I kind of found it interesting that it could have been SpringTrap. SpringTrap, it's really weird because in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we all know that SpringTrap was pretty much the purple guy. So maybe when you're playing in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, when you were working your final night on night 6, the phone guy did say that you had to be a security guard for a final birthday party, and maybe during that final birthday party, the SpringTrap soul came to life and it moved without even having an actual person inside the body. Now, it could be a possibility that the purple man was in the body and maybe he just felt a certain rage to just run out there and bite a child. I don't know, but there is one thing I did forget to mention. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the phone guy also mentions that there is a secret room that no employees are allowed to enter. Even in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, when you beat some of the nights, if you play as one of the animatronics and you follow the purple man, if you go up into this one room, you get an error message. That's because the animatronics are programmed to not go into that back room area. And the phone guy even says that you are restricted from that back room. No one's allowed to go back there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this video, guys, so I hope you enjoy the video. If you are brand new here, why not subscribe, because I will be doing plenty more Five Nights at Freddy's videos in the future. And for those of you who have been subscribed to me for a very long time, I'm going to be doing a lot more Five Nights at Freddy's videos in the future. They're just my most successful videos I've been doing the past few months, so I'm going to stick with Five Nights at Freddy's videos. I'm trying to get some Gary's Mod videos out here, but some of my friends are having issues setting up their computers, so I'll see if I can get some Gary's Mod videos out there. You could probably do some funny videos, maybe do like some prop hunt on the Five Nights at Freddy's map. I really don't know, guys, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this video, so I hope you enjoyed yourself. Please give the video a like, please subscribe if you're new here, and that's all I gotta say. So I hope you liked the video, and peace out.